So I want to talk a second why I am pro crutch. Now check this out. Oftentimes when we have an athlete who has had some kind of tissue trauma, clear mechanism of injury, or a surgical injury, surgical insult, it's a nice way of saying it, sometimes the goal is how fast can I drop these crutches? These crutches are signs of me being injured. These crutches are signs of me not pushing the pace and being progressive. The problem is that when we ditch the crutch or don't frame the crutch appropriately for our athletes, what we end up seeing is a whole lot of really weird compensated motion. Yes, let me show you what my walking looks like without my crutch for a second. So I'm just gonna put this here, and yes, I can weight bear on it. Notice I'm barely standing on one leg balancing. So I get this, I don't even have control in single leg yet. But my walking, at the very least, looks highly compensated, right? So yes, I can walk around. This is great when I need to use the washroom or ditch the sink, but I am actually not walking. I am in a forward flex position, so I don't have to use my quads, and I have zero glutes engaged. As soon as I drop my crutch back in, however, and notice that it goes on the opposite side because I'm trying to unload this leg. Pro tip, doesn't go on the same side leg because that would just have me weight this more. Always on the other side, so anytime you're watching a TV show and the person has the crutch or the cane on the same side, think to yourself, that's bullshit. So in this situation, what I'm able to do is get a lot less compensation. I'm able to stay upright. I'm actually able to have this leg trail more effectively, and I can actually feel my glutes. Part of what we're trying to do here is have our athletes be able to basically scale their walking, scale their movement. If you had someone come into the gym who wasn't strong enough to do a pull-up, what would you do? Just let them drop down? No, we give them ways to scale it. We do ring rows, we show them control. If someone's too weak to do a bodyweight squat, we have them squat high. The goal is to try to limit the amount of compensation in the movement system. And this actually goes back to one of the kind of foundational thinking pieces we have around our I3 model of injury, incident, or incomplete mechanics, incident, and injury. And it comes from the same idea, which is what we call a TENT, T-E-N-T, a trivial event in a non-trivial system. Sort of this whole normal accident theory model by Charles Perrow. But the trivial event in a non-trivial system is sometimes where, well, the system is able to tolerate a lot of silliness for a long time, but the system itself is very, very important to the health of the system, or in this case, the organism. And so what's nice is that these trivial events are me compensating around, but my walking and actually loading of the tissue is a non-trivial aspect. And so one of the things that we start to see is that if I don't regularly expose myself to some of these positions, because when I'm unweight bearing or I'm unassisted, I end up staying flexed, don't really bring my hip into extension, don't ever challenge these tissues, challenge the fascial lines, challenge the motor control in these ways. What I see is actually delayed function. And so when we actually have people use their assistive devices appropriately, and again, it's totally fine to walk around your house without, but thinking about I get higher quality movement, higher quality motion with my assistive device than without my assistive device, right? That doesn't look very good all of a sudden. I'm kind of stuck bent and wondering why, hey, I'm having a hard time recruiting my glutes. So keep in mind that your athlete should be pro crutch or pro assistive device when it's appropriate. And the reason is we get a better chance to end up spending time in some of these end range positions. We get better tissue exposure, which is the game, which is letting your body know these are positions we're going to value. These are positions that are going to come up a lot more. And instead of just either 1 or 0, can't do it, suddenly I can sneak into some of these shapes. I can even feel my quads working down here, flexing my quads, flexing my glutes, and I have much better control, much better foot pressure. So, again, let me reiterate, I'm pro crutch, I'm pro assisted device. Why? Because I know that this is not a better iteration of me walking around and being under control. Hopefully that helps.